Hey everybody, what is up? This is Startup Survival, coming to you from Mexico. I have been reunited with my Spyderco Tenacious. This was pretty much my first knife ever, and I say that with a like a little asterisk because I actually did get a CRKT Lake at my local mountain equipment co-op in Vancouver. For those of you who don't know, MEC is similar to REI. In fact, I think they stole the idea and brought it to Canada, but they're still a great store. Anyhow, that knife was partially serrated, which I've come to know now that I don't like at all. And the clip started falling off after a few days. And at that point, I didn't have like a set of Torx drivers or the experience really to service knives. So I actually took it back to the store. I just was not enjoying it at all. It was a thumb stud too, so I couldn't open it fast at that point. But then my buddy took me to Warriors and Wonders, which is the local knife store in Vancouver and pretty much the best knife store in Canada as far as I know. And we looked at a few knives. There was, of course, the Tenacious, which I ended up getting. And also we looked at Cold Steel Voyagers. I think we looked at the medium. This is the large, also on the trip with me right now. And I think the other one we looked at was Spyderco Delica. And none of them really jumped out at me except for the Tenacious. And I remember picking up that knife and just thinking, wow, the weight, that's good weight. Like it just felt great to me. So anyways, that's what I ended up with. And the knife journey just continued from there. I got the Delica, I think maybe a month later, and a couple Kershaws after that, more Spydercos probably. And, here we are a year and a half later. So anyways, why am I making this video right now? Because when I was in Mexico before, I lived here for about 6 months, and I brought the Bird Caracara, and the Tenacious. Those are my dedicated folders. So when I left, I actually left the Tenacious with my fiance. So she's had it for about 8 months now, and now I'm getting reunited with it after all this time. So I've got some impressions on it after extended use. This is probably a year and a half old, something like that. So first impression, and I'll try to show you this. I'm in kind of an awkward position here, but number one, the blade centering is completely jacked up. It's favoring very heavily to one side, and that is just because the pivot screw has become loose on it. I don't actually have a set of Torx drivers here, so I can't fix it. I guess I could go ahead and buy them or look for them, but probably just gonna leave it. So that's the first thing. So because of that, because the pivot is loose, there's a bit of blade play back and forth. Nothing up and down, it's still very, very nice and secure. So I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to use this knife. It's just something to consider that, the pivot's become quite loose on it. In terms of opening, it's all good. The lock is still excellent. The handles are in great shape too. They've really smoothed out though. This Chinese G10, I mean, people seem to really favor G10 over FRN. But you know what, like a Delica, or even my Bird Caracara too, which I'll bring in here right now. I mean, this maintains its grippiness. This smooths out. So I mean, which is the better handle material at the end of the day? Difficult to say. The other thing too is there are some rust spots on the blade. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up there, but I see like a little bit of speckling, like there's some rust on the Spyderco logo. Some rust down here by the handle. So it's rusted a bit. I mean, I haven't really tested the edge, but I got a bit of paper here so I can try that right now. So it still cuts paper reasonably well, actually. I have a feeling that my fiance has not used it super extensively. But it's nice to see this knife after all this time and see like sort of how it held up. I would say overall it's held up pretty good with very minimal maintenance. The other thing that really stood out at me is how big this knife really is. It's quite a large knife, which I didn't really remember, but it's pretty much like the perfect size knife. It fits nicely in between EDC and tactical. So I don't know, it's just bigger than I remember it, to be honest. I'll throw in I only have two knives I can show you to compare it to, but there's the Bird Caracara 2, which is probably a bit longer, but it's definitely lighter. And here is the Cold Steel Voyager large. Again, I mean, that's a huge knife. So yeah, it's just great to see the Tenacious again. It's a wonderful knife to have started the knife journey with, but it's really cool to see like how it's held up, and it just makes me happy to see it again. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a great New Year's. Bye.